Dude, I'm sweating.
Well, but the way he said it on the ride over, he's like, once you get past the first 6 inches.
Well, yeah.
I want 6 inches of cheese, knowing that
Yeah,
there's
you do.
another 6 inches waiting for me. You know what I mean? Like,
We got Justin Smith,
Doing it.
Marine Corps veteran,
Yep.
current Phoenix firefighter.
Yep.
The only man I know that's died twice, Lazarus.
I've said this before. I don't know if you're just extremely fragile or if you are just impossible to kill. Like, I feel like
Could go
it's-
either way.
I feel like it's such a fine
I
line.
think it's both. Eventually ended up in the Marine Corps. I got kind of chewed up and spit out in the Marines. So I ended up doing, I think it was about 5 deployments. And we're doing introductions. I'm introducing myself. Basically, we're here to serve you. I'm doing my introduction, and a young Afghan man walks away, and he drops trout.
Was he hung? Just want to know what kind of troop we're dealing with here.
And he drops trout and goes number 2, takes his hand. But the saving grace was he took a rock and then scraped that
Oh, yeah.
off his hand and went like this.
Should have started with the rock.
Yeah. I was a corporal. I got moved up to be a platoon sergeant. Way over my head. Way over my head. There were times where we would literally get shot up from as soon as the sun would rise in the morning until it set. And the sun got a little too close to a tank.
Didn't you say from that tank blast being that close, didn't it knock out some of your teeth?
And it kind of reached out and touched me a little bit, you know. It's like, we're in a war right now, like maybe we shouldn't be sleeping with each other.
It's funny that I maybe know 2 people that are voting for her,
Right?
and the hundreds of other people I know are voting for Trump.
Problem is I think they've took that ability to choose and they've influenced it. You used to have the ability to choose wherever you want. Now they allow you to choose from what they've given you.
Yeah.
You need to respect others, even if you disagree with them. And because that's what America's all about, right? It's the ability to choose.
Show 42.
42.
We had plans of doing a different show for 42, but we decided not to. We decided to let that one go.
I had no such plans. I don't feel like being sued.
Yeah, Adam, Johnny didn't want it. Adam and me did.
Coming soon to a
It lives
Theater
in our
near
mind
you.
only as a memory.
Yeah.
for now.
Special guest Justin Smith in studio.
Hi, Justin.
Stop by to hang out with us for the day.
Pronounced Smith.
Thank you guys.
Smith with 2 F's.
Yeah, SMIFF.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me
man.
on.
Glad you're here.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Hey, we want to start off the show today. Adam went to the fair and he was telling me about some stuff that
Yo,
I thought you guys might want to
they
hear
got
about.
this new thing at the fair, dude, called a Korean dog, dude. Foot
This
long.
is going to be a bad.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is real.
This is
not
a
a
No,
joke.
this is a real thing that I paid for. It was.
But tell them use the setup and the words that you use with
was
me
having
because you were
such
full
a
into
hard
this
time
story.
describing this on the way
You were
over
full
here.
into this story, and I was looking at you like I don't think those are the words you want to use.
Okay, so it's a foot long. We'll start there, and then from tip to first 6 inches, it's cheese, like melted cheese on the inside of the corn dog.
yes.
And then
Oh, you didn't say it was a corn dog. Okay.
Well, it's
It's a
Korean
foot-long
dog.
corn dog.
It's in the name. It's a foot long.
How's that in the name?
Korean dog is what it's called. So
Yeah.
there's dog there.
Yeah.
Yeah, dog.
Well, there
you
might
didn't
be
say
dog.
corn dog.
Well, it's Korean corn dog.
Well, there you go. So called a Korean
better?
corn dog. Yeah, I need a visual.
So the other day I had a Korean corn dog.
There you go.
And it was a foot long, and the first 6 inches was cheese, and the second 6 inches was dog. And then they did the batter, and then they rolled it in diced potatoes. And
you
then,
said tomatoes in
no,
the
no,
truck.
no, no,
That's why I gave you a weird look.
Well, you say tomato, I say potato.
Okay.
And then they deep fried it like that. That was pretty fucking awesome.
Dude, I'm sweating.
Well, but the way he said it on the ride over, he's like, once you get past the first 6 inches,
Well, yeah,
I
you
looked
gotta
at him,
get past the
and
first.
he was like,
Oh, yeah.
it's all melty and gooey, but once
Yeah.
you get past
Once-
that first 6, it's
yeah.
all dog. And I was like,
I forgot
Just like
about
the
that.
life, guys. The first 6 inches.
yeah,
Which isn't very. It's not very far.
Sure.
For
I
6
found,
So I
once,
was like,
I
it's a-
found once you get past like the first half inch,
it's a
you relax
6-inch
a bit.
mozzarella stick. Like I don't.
Well,
He's
yeah.
like, yeah, kind of.
And then a
not
dog.
mozzarella, but cheddar.
mozzarella and dog.
Where does the Korean come in?
I don't know. I'm just telling.
It's
I'm telling
actually
you what
dog.
it was called.
Well, hey,
It wasn't big.
What did the guy that looked like? What did the guy look like?
He's
Who
scooping
served
out with
it
his
to him?
hands and shit.
What did the guy?
I don't know, but he only took cash and he was making it out of a cooler behind the porta potty. So I don't know what to tell you.
Was it an actual stand or just
Yeah,
a dude
no,
that had a
it was.
cooler?
It was a real. I swiped a credit card and it was a real thing.
Dude, I can tell
That
you.
makes it real.
I paid, so it was
That makes
real.
it legit. If you pay, it's not. It's real.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right.
As long as you pay for it or beat them up after, it doesn't count.
Korean dog,
Wait,
ladies
what?
and
So you
gentlemen.
beat him off after?
As a fat kid,
That's
I
the
look,
second
I
6
look forward
inches.
more to the food than the rides.
The food's the best part of the fair.
Like,
Thank you.
I'm blowing down, deep fried Oreos.
Yeah.
You have to.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
multiple corn dogs.
I'm gonna go out.
funnel cake. Like
I'm gonna say something unpopular to most people.
You don't like the fried foods?
Fair food is ass.
Yeah.
Well, it's not good for you. It's
No,
ass
no,
that
no.
way.
It's ass.
You don't like the taste of it.
You would go in with these expectations: fried Oreos, deep fried Twinkies, deep fried this, that, and it's all just.
It's pretty good.
No.
dude.
It lets
No, it
you
isn't.
down so much every.
Here we go.
It is.
no, John, bro. I will go to the fair. I will ride 2 rides, and I will leave with literal stretch marks, like I had twins. Seriously, bro. Like
That doesn't mean it's
I
good
gotta
though.
cut,
Yeah.
no, it is no. If it isn't good, why do I keep just jamming it down in my pie hole?
Because
Like,
it's the
I can't
novelty
stop. No.
of the only place you get it is there, so you got to go crazy.
So
I would
we
eat
talked.
fair
We
food
talked
all the
about
day.
earlier your Jamaican visit. How high were you when you go to the fair and leave with actual stretch marks? Because that might play into it
Well, I mean,
a little bit, at least a little bit. That proves my point.
If I'm
you didn't
not-
go in
if-
with fresh taste buds, you went in with high
But
taste
if
buds.
anything, the flavor's enhanced. If
Well,
he's doing
but it's
that.
not.
No.
No, it's not really like high taste buds.
You'll eat crackers and cake batter when you're high. Like, come on, like
Yeah.
Together.
It's a medical condition. I suffer from morbid obesity, and therefore I'm just drawn to those kinds of foods. And I look forward to it right now. Like I'm right now.
He's
I know
salivating
the
right
fair is
now.
the fair is open right now. and
Yeah.
I know it, and I want to go there right now. That Adam told
You're
me.
gonna leave here.
we'll do a mobile episode and rate all the
I
trash food.
I want
Dude,
6
we
inches.
That would be
Good.
awesome.
I want 6 inches of cheese, knowing that
Yeah, you
there's
do.
another 6 inches waiting for me. You know what I mean? Like, I want my belly button to go from an innie to an outie right now.
Okay.
That's all I mean.
And there you have it.
That's pretty
Welcome
good.
to the fireside, everybody.
Yeah. So wait.
So glad you're here today.
do you guys ever serve food or
Not yet.
No, we don't.
No catering.
disappointing?
That's what the nicotine's for, man. Kill your appetite.
I'm trying.
Crack a few zins.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Show 42. We got that out of the way. We got Justin Smith,
Doing it.
Marine Corps veteran,
Yep.
current Phoenix firefighter.
Yep.
The only man I know that's died twice, Lazarus.
Dude, I've said this before. I don't know if you're just extremely fragile or if you are just impossible to kill. Like I feel like
go
it's-
either way.
I feel like it's such a fine
I
line.
think it's both. You know what I mean? It figures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fragile as
Yeah.
fuck. I die easily, but you can't kill
yeah,
me.
but you can't kill me.
I think I think everybody's born with like a special gift. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I think that my gift is being a magnet.
Missing chromosome.
Yeah. No,
It's really
not a
more of what
missing
was
one.
taken.
It's,
got an
it's
extra one?
probably a few extra.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean?
No.
Spirit animals. But yeah, no.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna link that in. Oh, that's funny.
No, yeah, no. I have a innate ability to just absorb bad luck. Man, you name it.
You're like an X-Men. Like you just absorb it in and then just blow it back out.
I wish.
Okay.
I pretty much just take it.
All right.
You know
All
what I
right.
mean?
That's
Like,
a
I'm
power
like,
in itself, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. So, but which is nice because you can be around me and just know that you're going to be safe because
Lightning's gonna hit over there.
twice
Yeah.
on my head right
Perfect.
now. That's also why I don't
Been
have
hit by
hair.
lightning.
Oh yeah.
All right, man.
Can you give a rundown of some of the stuff you've endured for people who don't know your story?
Sure. So, I was a college athlete with big aspirations of being the next big thing, and just never took off. I had an injury in college, and just kind of bounced around from the East Coast to the West Coast, and Middle America, and eventually ended up in the Marine Corps. I got kind of chewed up and spit out in the Marines. I ended up doing, I think it was about 5 deployments in the infantry as a Marine.
Were they all in Iraq?
No, I would have loved to go into Iraq.
You only went to Afghanistan? Dude, for some reason I thought your deployments were to Iraq.
No, so I've got 3 to Afghanistan, and really it's like 2.5. One of those I was on a MIT team, which is you're embedded with the Afghan army and Afghan special.
You're lucky one of those fuckers didn't kill you.
Hey man, dude, I'm telling you, dude. Yeah.
Are those the videos of the dudes you had working out, doing jumping jacks? And
Yeah. So here's the deal, man. Like, you know, you as a Marine, I'm coming in here thinking I'm taking over some type of unit that is already like well maintained, and I'm thinking tactics, right? I'm thinking weapons. I'm thinking, how do I employ these guys properly?
Think smaller.
Yeah. Really, what I needed to teach them is how to use toilet paper. You know, a toothbrush.
Abdul, quit using your fucking hand.
Bro, I'm not kidding you. So I'll tell you the story.
Whole camp gets dysentery.
It's so we link up with our Afghan counterparts, right? It's a mixture between the Afghan police and Afghan military. And we're doing introductions. I'm introducing myself. I'm telling them, why I'm here, why I want to help you. Basically, we're here to serve you.
Did you ever use the term or the title Command Sergeant Major?
No.
Okay, you didn't.
Absolutely.
Because you
not.
weren't.
No.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, we
no.
already-
Oh, so that's frowned upon?
We already ordered
No.
the challenge coins though, so
Right? You know what I mean? No, I didn't Tim Waltz it, for sure. And I'm doing my introduction, and a young Afghan man walks away, and he drops trowel about 15 to 20 feet behind the group that I'm talking to.
Was he hung? I don't know what kind of troop we're dealing with here.
it's for science.
He's hung like the zipper on the fly of my pants, you know what I mean, type of thing. And he drops trowel and goes number 2 and takes his hand and scrapes all that nastiness off, right? But the saving grace was he took a rock and then scraped that off his hand and went like this.
You should have started with the rock.
Yeah. That way we're good.
Yeah.
And then walk back. And I was like,
Why? This is what I don't get about that move. At that point, you've got shit all over your hands, all over your clothes. Why don't you just leave it in your ass at that point? Like, you're better off.
I thought it was.
keep it
I thought it was a
contained.
senior move, dude. Because listen, dude, you could be the biggest, baddest dude in the whole world. You know what I mean? You could be an MMA guy.
But you wipe your ass with your hand, you're another level.
If you're covered in human shit, there's very few people that are really willing to.
So you think he was playing like the 918 card?
defense mechanism.
No, that's what just came natural to him. That's what they do.
That's what Dad taught him.
That's what they do. And then when we took him on patrol, one of the hardest things for me was trying to not let them steal absolutely everything off the populace. And also, hey guys, like, we're in a war right now. Like, maybe we shouldn't be sleeping with each other on a mission. You know what I mean?
Spartans did it.
It's a real deal.
The fucking Spartans did it. Who are you to? You're better than the Spartans. Like, come on, dude.
Evolved from
300?
Greco-Roman wrestling, man.
I don't
That's
know,
how you
man.
bond. That's how you become a more cohesive unit. You die for that motherfucker you just
Hey,
fucked.
Maybe that's why Alexander the Great just stalled there, because he was like, dude, look at him.
Yeah, fuck.
We guys been fucking each other for 5 goddamn minutes.
Yeah. No, we don't need to fight each other. We need to sleep with each other. You know what I mean? So, so
Started smoking opium. It was all love.
Yeah.
dude, yeah, they're always high out of their mind.
Yeah, they're high as
too.
fuck. That's what I heard.
Always high out of their mind, dude. And yeah, that was a pretty crazy deployment, to say the least, man. Because when we would go on patrol, with like 20 to 30, sometimes 40, Afghan soldiers, police guys, whatever you want to call them, and then like 5 or 6 Marines. So we'd have some law enforcement bubbas out there, got a corpsman and a couple infantry dudes, and we would if we took contact, it was like the biggest shit show. It really turned into, please don't fucking shoot
Don't
us.
shoot me.
We had to take away all their RPGs.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Dude, yeah, we had a guy called Rocket Man, and his favorite thing to do was just, we'd all be pushed up on a berm, right? Taking cover, and he'd just go up on the berm and take and that's cool, man. I get it, but there's a backblast on a
I've
rocket.
seen a couple of videos dudes taking the backlash right to the face.
Right?
Yeah.
You never have to shave again. If you survive that, you'll never shave your face again. Yeah, dude. Like, you know, so stuff like that, man. I went back as a combat replacement one time, and that was hard, trying to fill in a position somebody
Brand new
died.
guy, yeah.
Well, it wasn't a brand new guy. It was an NCO. And
No, I say you're new to the unit.
right, yeah. So you just kind of, you know, you're just there. You're there to help. You know, we have the ability to kind of put our names, and I know I'm preaching the choir here, John, because you're a Marine. When you come back from deployment in the infantry, sometimes if your sister units are getting hit hard, they'll give you the ability to kind of like, hey, we need guys. Put your name on this list. We can't force you to go. You have to volunteer to go, because there's a, you know, an assignment that kind of goes with your deployments and, you know, waiting lists and that kind of stuff. So I got to do that, and that was one of the ones that was kind of scary for me. I was a corporal. I got moved up to be a platoon sergeant. Way over my head. My platoon sergeant at the same time got moved up to be the lieutenant, and
Probably better off.
dude, he was savage.
Yeah.
He was a good dude. His name's I'm gonna tell him his name's Staff Sergeant Pirtle. We yeah, he always took care of us, man. We would, you know, when you have a staff sergeant in charge of you instead of an officer, it was pretty cool. Like we had a fleet of motorcycles called Hellman Davidsons that we would
Harley Davidson knockoffs.
we would truck around on and stuff, and you know, the weapons that we would confiscate and the ammo, we would bring it back and shoot it.
Getting a lot of old Russian shit.
Oh yeah, a lot of PKMs, AK-47s, and you know, bulk explosives and stuff like that, and you know, even the 203 equivalent for like the AK-47s, the underbarrel attachment. I got to shoot some of those at barrels of fuel.
Nice.
Holy shit.
Yeah, which was fun. And yeah, and then you know, my last combat deployment was my last deployment in the Marines, and we went with 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines, and we got hit pretty hard, but we did really good, you know, as a unit. I ended up getting tagged a little bit on that last deployment. I got a little too close to a tank, and it kind of reached out and touched me a little bit, you know. So yeah, but the best thing about that deployment is other than the combat we took, because I mean, there were times where we would literally get shot up from as soon as the sun would rise in the morning until it set in the sun, dude. And
Didn't you say from that tank blast being that close, didn't it knock out some of your teeth?
yeah. So I got a fake tooth on this side. I didn't figure it out, and
Just
this
a
one
fucking overpressure, just fucking
Yep.
bombed out your teeth.
Yep.
Damn.
I was just too close to it. We were kind of pinned down in this. It was a grape orchard, so all of our Marines had been operating for about 2 weeks at that time, and we were on the tail end of all of our resources and logistics, and we were waiting for a resupply, and we had a drop, like an airdrop that missed us. It was coming right for us. The air changed, and then or the wind changed rather, and then we just watched all these Afghans just rat fuck
Oh no.
all of our shit,
Motherfucker.
so we were so hungry, right? I watched a Marine in an emery bag.
Remember you telling me this?
Yeah. It comes with some stuff that you might not think about. It might comes with a little bit of toilet paper. It comes with chewing gum. You remember this? Hot sauce. And I was watching this Marine. We hadn't eaten in about 3 days. And prior to that, who knows what he ate? He maybe had one meal a day for the last week or whatever. And he's digging through this trash of shit. And he comes across this piece of toilet paper.
No.
In the MRE.
No.
And he's got this hot sauce, man. And he doesn't know I'm looking at him. And he starts looking around like this, man. He takes his toilet paper and he starts putting the hot sauce in it, dude. And he takes a couple pieces of toilet paper and he goes,
Probably tastes like fair food.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not as good as the first 6 inches of cheese. I can tell you that
the
much.
second 6 inches. Yeah.
But yeah, and he ate it, man.
Fuck.
And
Kill a couple Afghans, take their 6 inches.
yeah, bro. And we were all
It would
shitting
take
our
a
brains
couple
out
apparently
too.
to get.
We had zero water. We were drinking mud.
Dude.
Oh.
It was, dude, it was so hard to get my guys up and going because they would have to throw up or shit or throw up and shit at the same time.
It's because they're eating toilet paper covered in hot sauce.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
They did so good, man. Like all those guys, all my Marines under my charge, one of the best things.
And you're a corporal at this time.
No, I was a sergeant.
Okay,
I was a sergeant.
was that the second deployment you were corporal?
So
Or did you get promoted while you're out there?
So my first deployment, I was a corporal because I did security forces, right, in the Marines. So my first.
Oh, I thought that came after. Okay.
No, so I did that first.
Right.
So I did the whole presidential
You're
security
the 8th and I.
thing,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
that
was
was after too.
I
Okay.
was an 8th and I for a little bit. I wasn't a marcher, so one of the security guys. And once you go through that program, they pick you up like, hey man, you're either going to White House Communications Agency, you're going to the Pentagon.
So what year is it? Was this Bush or Obama?
Bush.
Okay.
Bush. And say what you will about Bush, and I got my comments, but when I was around him, he was always really upbeat.
You said he treated everybody really well, right? New guys' names.
He went, and so one of the things that we would do in security forces, I would travel with the president, right, or the vice president, just depends on the trip. The trips that I went to with the president, being Mr. Bush, one of them was in Croatia, and we were sitting in this hotel room, right? We secure his hotel. We guard his communications agency. So we guard the football, which has all the nuke codes and all that stuff, and his ability to communicate to anybody all over the world. It's very important, right? And it's late, and I'm sitting there. I'm on post. I'm a corporal, and I see these people coming up the stairs. I'm in a suit, so I stand up. Got my MP5 right here, and I've got my 9mm too. Put my hand on my 9mm just because I don't know who's coming. Mm-hmm. And then when I see it coming up, the people, I start recognizing people in his cabinet and stuff. And so eventually he comes up and he's talking. He's louder than life. And he turns around, he sees me. He goes, hey, guys, shut up real quick.
It's not a bad Bush, by the way.
Right, Bush. I was hoping you'd do it.
Yeah, you can be our new Bush.
I was hoping you'd do the
Yeah.
voice.
And he comes walking up. He goes, hey, you one of my Marines? And I stood up and I was like, yes, sir. My name's so-and-so. And he goes, thank you. You need anything? You want something? You want a sandwich right now? And I was like, no, thank you, sir. Like,
Not gonna have the president fetch me a sandwich.
And meanwhile, his cabinet is carrying an exercise bike up the stairs because he's a big PT freak. And so he walks away, and I think it's done. And he goes, hey, check this out. That's my mighty Marine Corps right now. I love those guys. Doing good, buddy. And I was like,
Shout out from the president.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as an E4, in the Marine Corps, I was like,
That's pretty cool.
what is going
Yeah.
on right now?
Anybody you want me to kill, sir?
Famous.
Yeah. So I've got so many stories about Bush and stuff like that. I always liked him. I like Condoleezza Rice, and I just had a unique opportunity in the Marines to just do that.
Absolutely.
And go through all the training. We get so much extra.
Get to hang out with Darth Cheney.
Did you get weird vibes from him?
Did you feel your soul leave your body when you entered the room?
Okay. So I'll tell you about Cheney. So have you ever shaken somebody's hand and they get in your personal space?
Yeah.
And they hold on to your hand way too long. Okay. Now combine that with the most awkward conversation that you've ever had and the worst breath you've ever smelled, dude. It's like a fan blowing 6 foot of shark shit.
That's what I would imagine Beelzebub would be.
You can close your nose and smell it.
Presence of demons.
You can pinch your nose and you can still smell it and taste it. Yeah. No, he was really weird. I like Condoleezza Rice. Hillary was absolute garbage. You want to talk about evil,
Shocking.
incarnate, and I was really good friends with a lot of guys that worked in Camp David, and they would tell me stories about her too, man.
I can only imagine.
Oh, dude, crazy stuff. There's a bar up there for the Marines. There's a movie theater up there because they can't go anywhere. They're basically deployed in Camp David. And she would show up. She would ban tobacco. So you can't,
because why not?
You can't even dip. You can't smoke.
Well, were they just spitting everywhere? And she stepped in. God damn it, my $2,500 shoes.
I don't know. I mean, leave it to Marines to destroy anything.
Marines and Garrison are pretty fucking high and tight, though. But I can still imagine.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're spitting at her. You know what I mean? Like, to the point where.
Most.
Not while she's looking.
Yeah, right.
Not while she's
For the
looking.
most part.
From what I was told by my guys up there, and these are my best friends, they were like, when she would come in, one of the rules that she had was that anytime she was walking around the premises or she would come in our presence, if she got within 40 meters, we had to about face, which means turn away from her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
I thought you were saying you had to recognize her presence, which is pretty standard, but
that would be that's normally.
But you had to look away.
You had to look away.
That's creepy as fuck.
Divert your eyes.
That's fucking creepy.
That's some Blair Witch shit.
Yeah, you never told me. Yeah, divert your eyes when I walk in the room.
I'm serious.
Wow.
Yep. She would have us face away, and from what I was told, is because she thought that the Marines looked at her in a sexual manner and a threatening manner, which I don't.
Threatening, maybe.
Hillary's at the top of everybody's
Maybe.
list.
Well, hold on. If you're only at Camp David and you see a woman come in the room, I'd fuck her.
Well, no, you wouldn't.
Hillary?
Have you
Well,
ever seen
back in the day, was she was better than she is now,
Fair
right?
enough.
Was
There's a couple of women you will fuck just to say you fucked her.
Betty White's one.
Betty
White.
White.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Okay, but
What about
Oprah?
Martha? Where do you
I
stand on
bet the
Martha
Crypt
Stewart?
Keeper was pretty fucking
Yeah.
stunning in his day too. But
Who?
you know what I mean? The Crypt Keeper. You know what I mean? Like, listen,
You're not going to take a handy J from Hillary
no,
Clinton.
dude, listen, if Hillary was so fucking hot and so good in bed and this big catch, why is her husband fucking everybody else?
Why not?
Because
he can.
You know what I mean? Sure. Yeah. No, I get it. You
He's
know,
not
Did
fucking-
not have sex
Here's
with
the-
that
he's
woman.
not even fucking hot chicks.
no, I bet her ass looks like two bags of nickels pressed up against each other. Like, she's terrible, man. Like, she hates us. She doesn't like the military.
This is before she had like the evil reputation too. This is early.
Before she was
evil.
murking people.
Yeah. So
Well, she was killing people since day
Well,
one. but
I
yeah.
mean, known.
Jeffrey Epstein killed himself
sure.
for the last time.
Well, who says he didn't?
Nothing to see
Okay.
here. Nothing to see here. And look at all the people that the Clintons have killed. But
Not Jeffrey.
yeah,
I know one more that's on their list.
especially after now.
You said a little
Especially
further
after-
You
that
think
way.
Hillary Clinton listens to the Fireside? That'd be
Guaranteed.
badass.
I think AI listens to the
Hi,
Fireside.
Hillary.
Hey, she killed her cook, man. How I'm not outside the fucking the reach, I guess, but no, she was just terrible.
The about face when she walks in the room is creepy as fuck.
It's super weird.
That's
And
creepy.
she would light people up, man. If because we had to provide security for her sometimes, and
Ugh.
I worked with the Secret Service hand in hand. And I talked to these guys, and they hated it because they would have to do these events for her where she's going to do these speaking events, and sometimes people just wouldn't turn out in the numbers that she thought, and she would like
That she
people-
thought she was
she was like,
demanding.
There's no fucking money here. I don't want to talk to these people. Put me in front of people who have money. I'm tired of these people.
Like she would say that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, that's something you keep to yourself.
So say, I wonder how much that conversation goes around with a lot of politicians at different times,
I'm
but
sure the majority
not.
of
But
them.
that's behind closed doors, I would imagine.
I mean, I guess technically this is behind closed doors. Like you're sitting
Secret
there, you're
Service,
Secret
yeah.
Service, your security, you're the help. You know what I mean? It's like talking in front of your mate or your cook. Like
Yeah.
you don't think they're gonna go rat and go tell everybody. You're not allowed to. I mean, so you mentioned working with the Secret Service, and I know that. How do you feel? Obviously, it's completely different regimes at this point. But what was your impression of the Secret Service back then versus kind of what you see going on now? I know it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, that's a long time ago versus what's happening now, and you're not there.
So the Secret Service is when you look at the Secret Service, in my opinion, most of the people are a physical barrier to the president.
Sure.
We can't put fences up around the president, so we have to do so with personnel, right? You have different tiers of Secret Service people. So, like, you might start out guarding a manhole cover.
Explain that. Explain the different tiers.
Right. So, when you first start out, they're obviously going to vet the shit out of you, and then you're going to be, you might be guarding a manhole cover. You might be guarding a sewer grate, a mile away, whatever it is, or doing the legwork or this, that, and the other. And as you go up, you get more duties. But it's almost like, in the fire service, when you promote to captain, you get punished again.
Yeah.
And you have to go back to working the shit jobs. And so that's kind of how it is. But the real deal guys, that too many people know about as far as the president's security is he has a cat team. And these guys are special forces dudes.
Are they all like legit former special forces, or they're the Secret Service's version of special forces?
No, dude. They are legit.
They're all like Green Beret Deltas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, yeah. And they're,
So those dudes are pretty switched on all the time then.
they look like professional sports figures. They're in incredible shape. They're built like Steve. You know, they're huge.
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 And they're just, they're the best at what they do. You know, they're hand selected. And nobody knows about these guys. And the vice president has his own cat team. And the president has his own cat team. And when I was in, they didn't like each other.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. They would train against each other. And I've only been around these guys a few times, and not a lot, so I can't speak intimately on it. But I've been around these guys, the one time we were doing a brief, and the guys were in South Africa, and I was just sitting in the brief, getting ready to push my guys where they need to go. And the president's cat team and the vice president cat team got into it, man.
Like throwing down?
Not throwing down, but getting ready to.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, going at it.
Over what?
So, like I said, they train against each other. That's who they train against. That's when they go do all their drills against, and stuff like that. And,
So it's just that
there's
built-in
There's a
tension.
lot of competition.
Yeah.
And I think, I can't confirm or anything like that, but I think they get a say in who guards them and who gets
really?
put on that team. But those guys, no joke, can bring a small war to you if you want to really get stupid and mess around. And it's the guys you don't see.
You mean the combination of both teams, or just each team individually?
Each team individually. Didn't matter. Those guys.
I can't remember who was saying this. I think it was on the Sean Ryan show. This was maybe a year ago. And I can't remember. It was like a former Delta or Green Beret. I can't remember who, but they were talking about foreign nationals coming in here. And like, dude, if you had a team of 6 dudes, highly trained operators, they could take down a city like Los Angeles.
Yes.
No problem.
Oh, yeah.
So it's crazy when you hear somebody that has that kind of knowledge, that kind of training, that says that. You're like, oh, fuck, how vulnerable are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know. It blew my mind about that kind of stuff and how it really is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the Secret Service is just, like I said, they do a wall and then it's just a mass amount of people.
So you got to imagine the guys that are guarding Trump at this point, who's not a sitting president. That's probably the D team, right?
No. There shouldn't be a D team at all.
Except in
I mean,
Pennsylvania.
in theory. Well, yeah, like they pulled that team off of whatever detail in
Homeland.
Pittsburgh that had literally online training.
So listen,
Yeah, let's hear it. What do you got?
I'll tell you right now. When it comes to Secret Service, when it comes to personal security, what happened with President Trump and that first assassination was 100% deliberate. You don't do that. I know that as much as I know that being in presidential security as I know being a basic infantryman.
So because we've gone back and forth on this 100 times, like to what level, when you say on purpose, was it done on purpose? Like all of us say, hey, we're Secret Service, we're going to let him get the shot. Okay. Or was it just complete incompetence and like, I don't give a fuck if somebody gets a shot off. If it happens, Cool. That's what I believe. I believe like, hey, I'm not going to do my job to 100%. So if it happens, it happens.
No, man. Like they set that up. They set that up. And here's why. So when you set up security, right, for anything, you own the outside perimeter, right? It's just as important of everything that you're protecting in the inside, right? So if you have an outside perimeter, why would you not protect everything that's in the inside?
I mean, it stands to reason, right?
I mean, if there's a building in the perimeter, any building, why isn't there security there?
We should have had you on when we were talking about this because this could be an hour-long conversation.
If it has a roof, why isn't somebody on top of it?
Agreed.
Well, and it was the only build. It's not like they had a bunch to cover, right? It was the only.
It was the only other roof that nobody was on.
right. It's kind of a no. I mean,
Well,
I'm
the
not a
slope.
security
the
expert.
slope was pretty tough.
Slope's dangerous.
I get that.
You got to watch out for those.
That 2% grade on that.
Secret
roof
Service
was
is looking for
rough.
the. Remember, we had that video.
Like
Looking for an
literally,
agent.
like if I would have assigned, if I was in Afghanistan and we were taking over a town and we were clearing a city, which we do all the time, I could put a fire team leader, which is a lance corporal, or a corporal, which is an E3 or an E4, in charge of that sector of fire. And if he didn't assign something to that building, it's a problem.
It'd be his ass,
Agreed.
right?
Agreed.
It'd be a problem.
Well, that's what. That's why.
It'd
When
be
I
expected.
that's what I say when because we kind of did a whole episode on it basically. They legit, the team they pulled in from Pittsburgh had online training on how to do a lot of that shit.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 6 hours, something like that, of online training. They had, I don't want to say zero. Well, no, they had no practical experience when it came to doing something like that. So maybe they're just fucking, I don't know, man. I don't want to believe that there's a whole team of people, because we should, again, this is too much to go over.
Yeah, we don't have to go deep on it, but
It doesn't take a whole team of people.
No, I
You were
agree,
just
yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
6 dudes, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Right, to control a whole city.
But
What
even
if-
then you had
what if it's
local
just
law
6 people
enforcement and-
inside the.
But what if it was one person or 2 people above that made the decision and then pulled these people from Homeland, had them go through the 6-hour training and set that up as the Secret Service detail? Like those,
We know
6,
these people are
those-
incompetent.
Those
Like
6
incompetence
don't. Those
by
6 don't
design.
need to be in on it. The 2 that arranged the whole thing
Yeah.
and pulled them and removed certain detail and pulled the strings behind. Like it would just take 2 or 3 people to be able to put that together.
I'll say it
And-
in terms like all 4 of us can relate to on a fire ground. If I want a fire to go bad, I know I can handpick 4 people right now and
Yeah.
say like they're gonna fuck it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
From taking the plug to taking the nozzle, it's getting fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they wanted the house to burn down or knew about it, but I put them in place and I knew they were gonna fuck up. So I just didn't care if that house burned down. In this case, Trump being the house.
I think that makes more sense because Johnny talks about it a lot of times because we talk about conspiracy stuff.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to believe in any form of conspiracy that hundreds or tens or 20s or hundreds or thousands of people would know about. It makes a lot more sense if there's 1 or 2 or 3 and everything is compartmentalized and the people below that don't know.
That seems to be the only way you
That's-
pull off
yeah,
something like that.
Well, and they saw the shooter.
Sure. Yeah. There's no
Well,
denying
and
that.
there's all the weird
Yeah.
shit about the ladder, and he was
Yeah.
clocked an hour. Like the whole thing's just fucking.
His
weird.
receipt was for a 6-foot ladder, but the ladder he used was
Right.
10 foot. His
He,
car was
he
there, but
maybe
he was
rode
there
a
on
bike.
foot.
He maybe rode a bike for a couple
it was-
miles.
Yeah.
And his
like-
house was completely scrubbed.
The rangefinder, I'm pretty sure he was drone specking the site the day before, the morning of. Like
I think the morning of.
So
right?
like just the whole thing. So I think what you're saying is
What about the guy
if
on the
it
water
was
tower?
incompetence,
What
it
about the
was
guy on the water
incompetence
tower?
by
Yeah.
design.
See that dude?
Was that a CIA guy? Was that a Secret Service guy?
Multiple
Was it-
eyewitness of someone on the water tower.
Just me?
Then that one guy
Yeah.
broke down the angles of the shots and said there was more than one shooter, like based on the ballistics, like just the
Well,
whole
in the
thing.
audio,
stinks.
the sound, the ballistics of the sound of the gunshots. Yeah.
multiple weapons.
And here's why here's why it was a critical failure on purpose. Because we have known nothing. We know nothing.
Oh, don't worry. They're doing
We
an
know
investigation.
Yeah, right. We know
They'll
absolutely
release
nothing.
an official report soon.
I think they're going to release it when they release JFK's.
We know more about police officers that conduct themselves
Oh, yeah.
such and such on a call than we know about somebody who tried to assassinate the 45th president of the United States. That's a problem. And we still
it's a
don't
huge
have
problem.
answers.
What about the third
And then we
assassination?
have-
Or
Yeah,
not
there was
third,
another
but
one
the
the
most
other
recent
day,
one in
right?
Riverside.
They said that was a hoax.
I think they're trying to set the guy up.
The Riverside County Sheriff.
The
It
Coachella
sounded like
thing.
he jumped the gun saying that
Oh,
we
okay.
prevented
I
it.
saw him saying that
That guy himself said, I was not trying to kill the president.
Yeah.
Like, you could easily
he just
see.
went there to the deal and had guns in his
If
car.
I go to a
He's holding
Trump
them for
rally
a
right
friend.
now, I have a gun in my truck.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
that's not a big thing.
Well, and he even said there are other Trump rallies where he went to and other events where he was like, hey, I have this in my car.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a registered like I have it in my car. I just want to let you guys know they're cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like, obviously
responsible
can't bring
citizen.
Them in, you know, can't bring it in. Yada yada yada. So I think what they're trying to do is find because the last 2 assassination attempts has not really fit their bill as far as what the Democratic Party is kind of hoping.
Yeah.
They're hoping somebody big MAGA, whatever.
kills their last hope.
No MAGA Republican's gonna shoot Trump though.
That's like a Patriots fan trying to assassinate Tom Brady.
That makes no sense.
Right before the Super Bowl.
So hey,
Fuck you, Tom.
Why would you kill your best player?
Todd Brady.
So question for you
Eric
guys.
Bowder.
Yeah.
So let's call it 2.5 attempts because we don't know on the third one, right? For sure.
Sure.
Do you think he gets elected? And if he gets elected, do you think he lives out his entire 4 years?
That'd be a tough question because then you're getting JD Vance. I mean, I would say there's so much shit talk. I like JD Vance a lot.
I do too.
I really
I
do.
think if he gets elected, he lives for 4 just because he'll be able to enhance his own security. He'll have a say in that.
You don't think they'll JFK him?
they
I mean,
can.
that's possible.
We know they can.
It's possible.
Yeah.
They have.
But
They
the question
absolutely
is he going to win? That's
That's number 1.
I agree with you guys on that one because we're
No.
basically
God, no.
we're using the same machines, right, boys?
Yep.
We're still using Dominion. We've proved that we can hack into those.
They've already said there is a lot more early voting for Republicans, which is good to see.
Yeah.
The only thing I think I feel like they got away with it a little bit last time, right? And I think they're going to try to do something similar this time. I think that you see Trump leading in the polls significantly, but when you look on the news, it's the exact opposite, isn't it? And you see all these weird polls coming out from these left. I think they're trying to set up a narrative.
I think it's
To where
going
if
to
they swing it one way, that they can say, no, it's been that way the whole time.
Do you think
So
if
they
Trump
steal
wins, they're going to say that he stole it? Is that what you're saying? Like, well, based on the polls, he shouldn't have won, and then he did win, so he
I
cheated.
mean,
No, I
number
think
one, you
what
can't
they're gonna
trust
say-
I think
polls.
he's going the opposite way with that.
I think
The other
what
way.
they're going to do is, he did this. Every time he loses,
They're
he's-
controlling the mainstream narrative, saying
He
so they're
protests.
saying in the narrative that Kamala's up, and then even though the polls are showing Trump's up, is what he's saying. And then if Kamala wins, they're gonna say, see, she was up the whole time.
Yeah, it's setting up a narrative for us still. I don't know. Do you guys trust? You guys trust our election system?
You'd be a fool to trust government agencies, period.
Right.
But to what extent? I go back to what happened in 2020. Like, if the Democrats are the only ones cheating, like Republicans, you're a bunch of fucking bitches.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. Like, really, Democrats are the only one. You guys can't figure this out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. I don't want to believe that just one party has sole control over who's gonna do this. And if they do it again, fucking Republicans, you deserve every bit of it. I'm sorry, you do.
Yeah.
So I agree with you.
Everybody cheats. They just cheated better at that time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't, run a counterplay,
Yeah.
you're at fault. You're to blame.
Especially if you know they're using those same machines. Why don't you run that software that?
Right? Yeah.
It's crazy to see all the support for Kamala, right? So you have, you got Karl Rove.
It's funny that I maybe know 2 people that are voting for her,
right.
and the hundreds of other people I know are voting for Trump.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Conservatives for Harris, Republicans
Karl
for
Rove.
Harris.
It's funny, Karl Rove, didn't they? Family Guy, he was like the Grim Reaper or something like that.
Yeah, well, pretty much. Same as Cheney, right? You got Cheney supporting Kamala Harris,
Which is awesome. All the greatest war criminals of the past
And her
fucking
daughter.
20
Oh,
years
yeah.
all support
sure.
Kamala.
Sure.
What's that say?
Yeah.
Interesting. All the generals that wouldn't listen to Trump and pull out of fucking Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, all those guys that said, no, we're not going to do that.
Yep.
Those guys are supporting Kamala. Wonder why?
Yeah.
Because she's going to do exactly what the machine wants her to do.
Well, I just like when I look at America, like, dude, people are sick of it. They've had a belly full of it.
I
They
think
see
we've
their
had
gas prices.
Well,
they
that's
see
why they
their
elected Trump the
prices.
first time, is we were sick of it.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, he had a mouth on him, and yeah, he was extreme, but people kind of wanted that edginess because we were like, fuck, man.
He's not going to play by the rules. He's
but
not gonna,
think about
he's not
this.
Gonna do the
He
bullshit.
did win, but he still didn't win the popular vote,
Right.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you say we're sick of it. Yeah, I think a lot of people, when you just get the pulse of America, we're sick of all the shit. We're sick of the lies. We're sick of everybody just, all the politicians only playing to their best interests. We are sick of it. But what are we going to fucking do about it?
Well, and that's the crazy thing
You
is
got to do something.
Kamala's running her campaign on right now. Turn the page, new start.
Turn
not
the
going
page.
back.
Let's get rid of all the people that've been here. But she's been there and she's still there. Like, how do people not understand that her slogans? Like, we're not going for a new people just because we vote for her. She's there right now.
I know. Did you
How are
see
people
it?
so blind to that?
Barack Obama's whole thing scolding black men for not wanting to vote for women?
Did you see there's a bunch of posts of black men coming out like on their socials and saying, you're not going to shame me. Like, I'm voting for,
yeah, instead of me voting for my own best interest or my own conscience or judgment, you're gonna scold me because you think I'm afraid to vote for a woman. I'm just not voting for that woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when Kamala Harris says "turn the page," there's a and I might be butchering
Communism.
this. There's a Karl Marx quote that says we must turn the page from what has been to what can be, and she said that over and
Kind of
over.
like being unburdened
So
by
It's
it.
literally a Karl
So
Marx.
last was it last episode
think
or
it
the
was
episode
last show.
before?
I
It
think
might have
it was
been
one
last
before.
show. There's a guy named Chad Jackson on the socials, and he considers himself a little bit of a historian, but he goes back and he's actually compared her speeches to 3 or 4 different speeches from American communists, and they identify as Communist Party, and everything they say is talking about moving together, moving forward. You know, the whole So
Yes.
he linked all that together, everything that she says through that, and we were making fun of her speechwriters clearly.
That's why she's flooded. Flooded. I mean, that's when we look at the election. It's just as much as the voting machines, right, as it is the illegals that came in through.
Yep.
So
Talks about that too.
I mean, you look at the
Migrants. They're not illegals. They're migrants.
Undocumented
Okay, so
migrants.
let me tell you about migrants, right? They're just looking for asylum.
Yeah,
They're just refugees, right?
exactly.
Well, today is what it's Indigenous People Day.
It is.
It used to
Happy
be
Columbus Day.
It used to be Columbus Day,
Which is ironic that you say Happy Columbus Day.
right? So what? I'm,
Wasn't Columbus just a migrant looking,
that's
trying
what I'm
to?
saying, man. Like, isn't
What about the pilgrims?
hang
Weren't
on
they
a
just
second.
migrants looking
Hold
to seek
on.
asylum?
Yeah, they were just looking for asylum. They're just refugees, you know.
Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, and them boys, huh?
But the good
Yep.
thing is they had a ship full. I think it was the Mayflower. What was it? Was
They
it
had 3 of them. That was
the Nina Marina Santa Maria? Yeah, full of diversity and inclusion. You know what I mean? And number 2, if that's so bad, then I guess we understand the importance of border security. Now, don't we?
What's that?
Well, Kamala's
You know what
not
I mean?
the borders are
It's
though.
just
She never was.
never been claimed.
Never was in charge of
That's
the
the
border.
That's the whole thing, right? Like,
That's actually a funny point that I never hear anybody say. Is
About the
weren't they just some migrants looking for
Interesting.
asylum?
yeah,
100%
why not?
they were.
They're just trying to bring, inclusivity.
I just,
and,
you know, Well, not only that, like my homeland is oppressive. I want to practice my own religion. I want the freedom to do what I want to do. My
Absolutely.
God-given rights.
Isn't that-
I can
yeah, no,
practice them here in the new land.
It's the old pilgrim narrative, isn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so, I mean, with all these migrants, I mean, we already have established that 215,000 voter rolls are unreliable, and Adrian Fontes in Arizona
I
refuses.
was saying just in Arizona. Yeah, they've discovered it in other states too.
But this is why it's such a big deal. So 215,000, right? Our election was less than 10,000 at the state level, boys. So what do you think 215,000 is going to be?
Yeah.
It's going to be exaggerated.
Wouldn't that amazing if they all voted for Trump?
No, well, yeah, I hope so.
Because so many migrants, once they get over there, like over here, like we don't like illegals.
There's
Yeah, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about
Yeah.
you. You can't come here. Like I'm here now.
Don't encroach on my benefits. We
Exactly.
don't need any more of you.
Exactly.
I think there's just as many that are like that are also like, well, shit, I'm going to get these many thousands of dollars. I get a free plane ticket. I get free
Hotel
EBT
stay.
cards.
Yeah.
I get a free home that I can live in, and I don't have to pay rent in that home for 2 years.
Well, I'd rather give it to the migrants than people that lost our house in the hurricanes. I mean,
Yeah,
wouldn't you?
or our veterans. Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah,
Fuck
homeless
those guys.
veterans.
Yeah,
Come
they
on.
never did anything.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Let's give it to people that we have no
Well, let's
idea.
not change now. I mean, let's just do what we've
Exactly.
always done.
Yeah. So fucking insane. Yeah, we
How-
talked about this all
How
last
better
show.
how better though?
You should have been here last week.
So Obama did it with Obama phones, right? Kamala's going to do it with
All
the
those
border.
bums still got their Obama phones, man. Drives me
Right?
nuts.
Right.
How are you calling 911
Right,
for your
right.
toe pain?
Yeah, I know. The whole day's pain too.
God. Oh man, yeah, we could go. Like, there's a lot to go into that.
I know. And we're so close to election. I know it's such a hot topic, but
It's hard to not. We've talked about it before. Like, there's days we don't want to talk about it, but it's hard not to. There's nothing else. I mean, there's tons of news, but it's so pressing.
It's
all
just
the
the
time.
number one topic almost every show.
I think for those of us who are, and I hate using this word, but awake, I think we just see
woke.
it and we're just like, you guys are full of shit.
Yeah.
The news, you're just like, you guys are just full of shit.
It blows me away that people still don't see it. Like, how do you not?
Yeah.
No.
Because you're clearly not looking at this with clear eyes.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like, How do you not
It's
see
like
this?
saying Arizona has had the mildest summer ever
Yeah.
recorded on history, and meanwhile, you know what I mean? Like dogs are
People are
melting.
going, yeah, we believe it.
You know what I mean? And an
Makes sense.
81-year-old left the house for 30 seconds and spontaneously combusted. Yeah, right? Yeah.
Dude, yeah, it's
Turned to dust.
yeah. You can be liberal, you can be Democrat, whatever, but at least just see what's being done to you or the game they're trying to run on you.
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm trying to teach my son is I'm trying to tell him about politics as much as he can understand as a 10-year-old. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I'm trying to tell him just as much as it's good for you to have your own opinion, that you need to respect others, even if you disagree with them. And because that's what America's all about, right? It's the ability to choose. And the problem is I think they've took that ability to choose and they've influenced it immensely.
Oh yeah.
And then
Or just
they've-
taking it from you if they want to put
censored
it.
their
Yeah.
candidate in.
Well, you used to have the ability to choose wherever you want. Now they allow you to choose from what they've given you.
Yeah, A or B, what you want.
You know what I mean? And they take away your freedoms. You know what I mean? We used to be able to catch a fish. We used to be able to shoot a buck. We used to be able to drive a car without having to ask
A
permission.
seatbelt and a beer in your hand.
Seatbelt. Not a seatbelt.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just little stuff like that. And I get conservation, all that stuff for the hunting license, so we can go, all into that stuff. But I just feel like they take these things, they take your freedoms away from you as of late, and they sell them back to you in the form of a license or the form of a fee or whatever it is, a tax, whatever. It's sad because it's ours.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be ours.
Well, the more government you get, these bigger government institutions that keep popping up all over. I mean, talk about George Bush and all that stuff. Go back to 2002, whatever, Patriot Act. Like, look at all the fucking freedoms they stripped from us just implementing that.
Well, Reagan said it, right? Remember he said the scariest thing that the government can ever say to somebody
Yeah.
is we are here from the government and we're here to help.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh,
Never
it's,
works that way.
It's crazy how liberals went from being no government, freedom is
Some
speech,
more
Do you remember?
government.
Do you
stuff to
remember
like-
Kamala
government as we
Harris?
can get.
Kamala
you can't say
Harris
that.
in her acceptance speech said, "We
Yeah.
will have the biggest, most lethal military." Like, wait a minute, you're a Democrat.
Yeah.
Like what? Yeah, it's fucking insane.
It's all rah bullshit.
Yeah, she's talking about her fucking Glock and all this shit. Like, hold on, what's
Gun
happening?
toting.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Tim Walz can't even load a shotgun, dude. He's
Yeah.
like,
Meanwhile, she's going on dates with fucking Montel Williams as a side
Back in
piece.
the day. Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
fucked Montel back then too. He was a hot item.
Yeah.
You know, you can't blame her for
He had
that.
a big show.
He did.
I'm not
That's
into
what they
bald
called it.
dudes, but yeah, I can see what you're saying. I'm more like I'd be more Dr. Phil over Montel, just personally. I think Dr. Phil would be able to manhandle me a little bit.
He's a big man.
the Texas rattlesnake.
Right.
again,
So you don't want full
I think
balls.
he's
You want the
stronger than he
cul-de-sac.
looks.
But Montel was a Marine. He was voracious.
Not
All
feeling
right,
it.
I don't know.
Really
Maybe-
debating which
maybe.
man you
I
want to
mean,
jerk you off.
Maybe Montel was the best Marine of all, dude. Like, walking around with Kamala Harris as her
He's the best of all of us.
As one of his side
One of
pieces.
his
He had
side
two
piece,
in
dude,
those
you know what I
interviews.
mean?
That
Oh,
one,
yeah.
that one I realized was his daughter.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like she was the better looking one. I was like, oh, not
Yeah.
good for you,
You know what?
Montel.
Do you know what just blows my mind though? Is so like, all right, so Kamala Harris and all these people are just there's a lot of like anti-white rhetoric, whatever. You guys married white dudes.
I know, right?
What are you doing?
They
And then-
married
You're married to a white
beta
Jew.
white dude.
But here's the deal. So you're married to a white dude as a woman of color, and you want to
Allegedly.
tell men of color,
that they have to vote for you.
yeah,
Or you
I-
ain't black.
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean.
That was the best quote of any politician.
My
You don't vote for me, you
favorite.
ain't
You
black.
ain't black. You ain't black.
Look,
my
listen.
favorite.
Here's the deal.
Biden.
And it's so crazy that like if you disagree with somebody, it's like insert your slur here. You're-
Racist, homophobe,
yeah.
misogynist.
You're mansplaining, whatever. It's like, well, how else is my wife supposed to figure it out? You know what I mean?
Amen, brother.
Where do you stand on the
Sorry,
hurricane?
honey. I'm just kidding.
Hurricane Helene.
How much time?
How much
Not
time
not long. We're at 50
Shit, we're almost at
already.
an hour. We
Yeah.
haven't even gotten into topics. This is just going to be the show. We'll
Yeah,
cut it. No
yeah,
topics.
Yeah,
I think it's very convenient that it managed to decimate a predominantly Republican voting demographic. Yeah, I just I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I don't know. You know, we have patents on weather machines. We have, you know, aerosol aluminum that we're dumping from planes, in the fact that so much that on some of the bigger mountains in America, we can no longer drink, we can no longer boil the snow water from these mountains because they are so saturated.
Have you seen where they take the
With
snow and they
aluminum.
melt it and they'll take a magnet through it and just pulls all the metals inside the glass?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Probably do
So
that with our
I'm
blood
just-
too.
Yeah.
What, you know, I think there's a lot of things that
Plastics.
we don't know. That's the thing, man. I think in general, there are so many things
You're never going to know.
that people think they know and that people trust, and that's not the way it is. It's probably the exact opposite, and it's for a reason.
Well, it's gotten to a point too, like where people will come forward and they'll call themselves whistleblowers and they'll drop this big truth bombshell, and you don't even know if you can believe them or not anymore.
Well, did you? So I sent you that clip, or not the clip, but I told you like, hey, listen to this part of the Sean Ryan show. These guys were.
Yeah, I haven't had a
So
chance to listen to it.
you don't have to, but anyway, he was interviewing these guys who were part of a special unit from a National Guard unit in Florida. Anyway, they were in North Carolina, but anyway, they're going back and forth, all these struggles they had getting aid to people. A lot of it miscommunication, a lot of people just trying to be the big dick in town, saying like, no, I'm going to do this, you're not going to do that. But one of the things they said was that they got a call from a pilot, not a pilot, but a commander on a base that they knew, who was saying that Kamala just went in front of a plane full of supplies, posed for it, even though the plane was never meant to go anywhere. So they got that call and they passed it off as real information, which to them it was. They say, why would they not trust this? And Sean Ryan, like 2 days later, said, hey, I have to retract this. I got a call from the actual flight crew. We got flight boxes and everything. That plane was whatever. I'm going to mess it up, but it was broken. So that had to be reloaded to another plane. That plane was always intended. Here's the flight path. It got delivered. So like even then, when guys are trying to do the right thing, say the right thing, there's misinformation right in there.
Well, and the way the news works too with social media and private, you know, journalists, independent journalists, like everybody wants to be the first one to break the story. Everybody wants to be the first one to take something and run with it. And I think we've talked about it before. We've seen a lot of times where they'll do that and then they'll have to come back and retract their statement because everything they put out was incorrect.
And to his credit, he came back and retracted it, saying, hey, we have new information. This is it. I truly appreciate that because MSNBC.
There's a lot of people that won't do that. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So you're going to say something, Justin?
Yeah. So my thing on the whole thing is that happens. You know that for the military.
Sure.
You know, kind of stand up here, you know.
Yeah.
You know, lefty, rightsy, you know, it's all a show. My big argument with that is so FEMA, all right? They're set up to help with natural disasters and stuff like that. My problem with FEMA is that after 2020, the Biden-Harris administration diverted funds and started paying migrants to come across the border, in a sense. You know, that's our nation's assets and funds for natural disasters, whether it be an earthquake or we know we're going to have hurricanes. You know, that side of America always gets pummeled. They should be
A couple times a year, yeah.
It just happens, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like we
They have a
plan
season for it.
Yeah.
Sure. You know, Mayorkas came out and was like, yeah, before this ever happened, we're fully funded. Boom, it happened. We are underfunded.
Out of money. Yep.
You know what I mean? Because they've given it
But
to these migrants. They've given it to other people.
So we talked about this in the last show. And so we kind of came to the conclusion, yes and no. And ultimately, you don't know what the truth is unless you're an actual investigative reporter who can go dig through and find those funds. Yes, they are giving FEMA money to them, but we know how government works too. Like,
It was earmarked.
maybe was that money earmarked just for this? But irregardless, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That they're getting that money and we don't have anything to give.
You
to
would think there would be
American citizens.
a for the good of the country clause where they go, okay, we had this money earmarked for migrants, but you know what? Let's pull it from that and divert it over here. If we can divert funds so easily, let's divert funds where we need it in our country.
So this is a broad brush question for you guys. Do you think America's funds, as far as its taxes and stuff like that, do you think they spend it on taxpayers? Or do you think they spend the majority on non-taxpayers, non-citizens?
I think they're both true. I think they spend some on taxpayers, but I think the majority of it probably goes towards other funded programs,
Like Ukraine?
like everything. Israel,
Like Israel?
yeah.
So I mean, I guess
That's the issue. That's the big issue is
But we're being
our
taxed on that.
money goes towards taking care of everybody else and not taking care of at home.
Right. It sounds like taxation.
And that
not
was-
representation. That's all.
well, you got a representative. Like you got a choice, right?
No, you don't.
I mean,
you say you do.
technically you do. Technically. But so we got into that a lot of that last show. Like, when do we put Americans first? Why is and I get even like if you're going to make the case why we give money to Israel, why we give money to Ukraine, I understand why you're saying we do that. But at the same time, our country's fucked a little bit right now. Again, can we prop up our own citizens first? Can we get our country straight and then we'll go back to securing the world again?
Yeah, how are we not able to look at these countries and go, God, you got it rough. We're going to do what we can, but we've got it pretty bad over here right now. So we can't, I'm sorry, we'll give you what we can, but we can't give you everything right
You
now.
mean an America first policy?
If you will. Something like that.
Why-
I feel like
like
I've
the
heard
sound
that
of that.
before.
I like the sound of that.
It might
let's
be a
run
good.
with that.
Maybe let's run that up the. up
Why do we
poll.
have money for illegal immigrants, and we don't have money for our veterans?
Priorities.
Why do we have money
Say
for
priorities.
illegal?
I thought he said progress.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Right.
Potato, potato.
Some people will call it that. Yeah.
No, but like, you know what I mean? Like, why are we sending all these? They keep. How many people do you think that could name one Providence in Ukraine? You know what I'm saying, though?
17 Americans.
Yeah.
Kamala
You know what
Harris
I mean?
can't.
But,
I know
we're,
that.
We're sending billions of dollars there. Like, think of what we could do with $200 billion.
Yeah.
If Soros can affect the news, the local news, with 500 million,
And he just bought
That's
200 more
radio
radio
stations.
stations.
there you go.
Or in the progress of buying.
Yeah.
That's it.
It'll go
Why
through.
you don't think we could affect America positively? Like, what does
Dude,
the war in
100%.
Ukraine? What does the war in Ukraine have anything to do with America? No, I get NATO.
Well, saving
You get NATO,
everybody from
You talk to all the
evils
national
of
security
Putin and
experts.
Russia and yeah.
I get it. You can make the argument, and I understand it. I get it. But at the same time, that doesn't help me when my fucking house just got washed away in a hurricane or my fucking neighborhood burned down in Maui. It doesn't help.
right.
You know?
Like, what are we doing? Like, what's our priorities? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I think that's the big draw with America first. You know, make America great again. Like,
I think
hey,
I
man,
found the name for the episode.
how can,
Yo.
you know, when you just look
America
at it
first.
as an individual, how can I take care of anybody, whether I'm a father or a son or a firefighter or a vet, if I'm not good first?
Yeah.
Right.
I need to be good first. That way I can give my whole to whatever it is. And if the whole, you know,
In case
that
of
I can
cabin
contribute-
depressurization, put the mask on yourself first.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, why aren't we taking care of?
Well, and
you
I
know,
think
these people that we've stepped on their shoulders to get to where we're at, and we're just gonna.
No, just
And
keep
I think
stepping
you
and
know
bury 'em.
I think you know the answer, or at least you have a belief to what the answer of that is, and that is so that as things get worse, we have to rely on the government for help, and then they come to us with their programs, and then, like you said, they sell it back to you in the form of something else.
They have no fucking solutions. Look at their candidate right now. She can't fucking talk unless a teleprompter's in her face. She has no solutions. None.
I just feel like we're stuck in this situation where the government will create emergencies, and therefore create a need
Yeah.
Yeah,
for a government.
100%.
But it's probably always been like that to a degree. It's just the severity is probably worse now.
Well, I think what it is it's a snowball.
Post World War
rolling
II.
downhill,
For sure.
rolling downhill.
Post
Yes,
World War
post-
II,
yes.
it has gotten exponentially worse every decade that passes.
I don't know. I just think about, like, how's my kid gonna afford a house? How's our son's gonna? John, you got a son. We all have sons,
I have to kill myself and give him my house.
right?
Yeah.
That sucks.
That's it.
You know, like,
I'm not going to do that. FBI, like, I'm not going to. I'm not going to Epstein myself.
John is perfectly happy.
I'm good.
yeah, right. He's not,
Promise.
he's not gonna McAfee himself. Oh man, no. It's just it's overwhelming because you're right. Like, what do you do? You know what I mean? And
I feel like we've been saying that since episode 1.
Yeah, really.
What exactly can we do other than vote?
My whole thing is in this entire podcast is just to get people to, for lack of a better term, wake up.
Yeah.
Just look around, see what's happening, see what they're doing to us, how they're manipulating us, how they're just lining their pockets constantly. Just take a look. And eventually, maybe not in my lifetime, but maybe in 50 more years, 100 more years, finally somebody will have had enough.
You're so right though, because they're screwing people on both sides of the aisle.
Absolutely they are.
You know, but then you got discussions like this, which are awesome, and then you've got people who are well, I'm voting for Trump no matter what. And you got people who are, well, I'm voting for Kamala no matter what. But like, take a fucking step back and look at what they're doing to you as a person, not as a fucking Democrat or Republican, and as a person.
Yeah, and you have to make those tiny little like, hey, I hate Trump, I hate Kamala,
But
Yeah, you have to make
Trump's
concessions.
5%
Yes.
better.
You have to
I'm
make
gonna go that
concessions
way.
over something.
and you have to
absolutely.
form
But at least
these
you're aware
thoughts.
of what concessions you're
Yeah.
making. You're not just buying
Or
everything
doing what
saying,
you're
well,
told.
they're 100%
Obama
right.
told me I got to vote Kamala, so I'm voting
Right.
Kamala.
So many people are so comfortable with being told what to do. And
What
not
voice was
thinking.
that?
That was my black Southern voice. No.
Code switching John.
Whoa.
That's what people want. They want to be
Yeah.
told
They
exactly
want it- well, it's easier.
what to
Some people
do
totally do.
It's easier.
and what's going to happen because it's comforting.
I think some
I
people
don't have
don't
to do anything.
I think some people
just
don't
know
want to
it's gonna
have these
happen.
conversations because it's scary to have these conversations, right? It's a lot
Fuck
easier
yeah, it is.
to go about your day, not think about the greater existential threat to like everything, right? It's just easier to be told. It's convenience, I think. I think people
Well,
are scared.
And they've done studies where they've studied the brain, and once somebody has made up their mind and they believe in something,
Yeah.
if you give them any kind of information that is contradictory to their
Yeah, I know
belief,
exactly what you're talking about.
they will cherry pick it because you know what I mean. And I think that's where the media comes in. Is it just
Yep.
you can't believe in the media any more than you can believe in a Netflix movie, or a movie that comes up on HBO. It's
Unless
all,
we're talking about the Terminator or the Matrix, because those are 100% true.
Those
It's
are-
happening.
seriously,
Yeah.
no,
And Idiocracy.
well, that we're
that's
living
happening
it.
in
We're
real
living
time
it
right now.
Right now,
Those
Why
are
are you
those
reading
are
that sign
documentaries.
over
It's
there?
electrolytes.
yeah.
It's got everything a
No.
plant needs.
They crave it. It's got what plants crave.
Taco Bell.
I'll have to watch that again. This is a great movie.
I actually watched it a couple months ago and it was upsetting. Like I was like, oh, I love this movie. It's so fun. I put it on. I was like, oh,
oh, that's
I don't know.
2024.
I didn't know I was watching a fucking documentary,
Yeah,
dude.
no
You're
shit.
like,
I don't.
Time
yeah.
travel is real.
it's my life. Yeah, dude.
All right, we're up at we're just past an hour now.
Yeah.
What else we got, man? I think that was a good episode.
It was good, man. I had quite a few things.
I say we save it.
Yeah, I'll save them for next show.
You guys want to do the?
Fireside?
Are we still doing?
Yeah, let's do Fireside. We gotta close with Fireside.
Fuck yeah! Get some!
That's produced in studio, by the way.
Just motivated me. Dude.
Hell yeah,
All right, man. So I just got two for the Fireside today. The first one, I came across this and I thought it was pretty interesting. Do you know how our Q2, the wind-up sirens, actually work? So this is a
Like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So it's a
Justin's
little
got a
bit.
guy for the Q siren.
That's another show, dude. What if we get him as a guest?
Has he shown you the videos of the guy he follows and he does the tornado siren?
No, this is this is how they're actually built and how they actually work. Adam, it's B9. I'm sorry, B8.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh no, what's coming?
Is this your guy? Is that your guy?
Hey, I've always been a fan of the Euro sirens. Ha 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 ha.
Johnny wasn't amused by that. All right.
All I can think is RQ siren. Somebody hit it like the first day we had it, and a piece of metal flake or sheared off. So
No, it clicks.
anytime you walk by, it'll slice your arm wide open.
And the last one I came across, I thought was pretty funny. And so, I mean, everybody in the industry obviously knows how much a structure fire boosts morale and how if you get a fire, everybody's good. So this is, I called this structure fire odds. And this guy's, making bets himself on if this happens, he's going to win. They're going to get a structure fire next shift. And some days it feels like this. So the last one, the guy's playing beer pong, trying to get in a cup. If he makes it in a cup, he gets a structure fire next shift. He's 1,000 cups lined up at
If
the
you
end.
miss it, it's an EMS call right
Slow
away.
motion.
And then slow-mo, it just bounces about 7 times and doesn't go in any cup. It's got 1,000 cups laying on the ground.
And lift assist.
I thought, I'm like, yeah, that's about what it feels like
Engine
when you're trying to
check
get
welfare.
Yeah,
Tatum in
here's
the 101.
another no emer,
unknown
dude.
medical.
Yeah, and there's an asterisk that says you need a bariatric gurney.
AOI. I love it when it's unknown medical AOI.
I love that all of our gurneys
Damn
are
it.
now bariatric.
Right.
They're fucking. You see how big the new ones are?
Dude,
They're
our
just
journey
fine.
still
Dude, it's
screams.
seven
sometimes.
hundo.
It's fucking
Sometimes they
Wally,
scream.
dude.
Sounds like that guy doing the Q. And
Yeah.
It's Wally. It's fucking Wally, man. Wally.
So,
Wow.
so that's all I had for the fireside. Just a couple of funny ones.
Fucking A right, brothers. That was fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thanks,
coming,
Justin.
dude.
Thanks,
Dude,
Justin.
thanks for having me on, man.
Anytime.
Talk the whole
Anytime.
time. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
That was
Just come on again. Come
Appreciate
hang
you
out.
guys.
We'll do
Whenever
more.
you get a free day or
Everybody out there in the fireside, if you enjoy Justin, we'll have him back. If not, we'll tell him to fuck off when
Yeah.
we talk to him again.
Yeah, shoot us a message. Should
It's
we
been
tell
nice meeting
Justin
you
to
guys.
fuck off?
I will never be back.
and they never saw him again.
And it's gone.
All right, episode 42 in the books. See ya.
Next time, 43.
Is that what comes after 42?
Yeah.